Welcome to another episode of the Intrigue Dynamite Show. You should hit that subscribe button, like and share. Oh yeah. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, welcome to another episode of the Intrigue Dynamite Show. Of course, this is your host, Mr. Intrigue Dynamite. As usual, let's get it. Let's calm the music down. Shh. Oh, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Sunday stream. Now, we're going to be switching to Saturday. So this, but everything was such a rush today because I'm running around like a chicken with the head cut off. So as you make your way in, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share, comment, and hit the super chat, the Cash App, $ Intrigue Dynamite, and we can get this thing, keep this thing rolling. So I have a few series that I'm working on. Like right now, I'm working on a kind of an alternative storytelling of history. You know, it's going to be very entertaining, and I'm looking forward to finishing up this first episode. So, as usual, I like to dive directly into the matter, because on this particular platform, we like to take certain narratives and we like to dig into them. And we like to break them down, get a better understanding. And if there's any untruths or any inconsistencies, we like to go ahead on and really put that underneath the microscope and on display so everybody can get a beautiful understanding of just what nonsense a lot of these people are trying to push down your throat or into your ear or into your children's education or whatever. So today, the subject matter is, what do you see right there? I bet you when people first saw this thumbnail, they had knee-jerk reactions because they didn't look at the entirety of the thumbnail. I bet you a lot of people, when they saw that thumbnail, they're like, oh no! He's talking about white privilege. I don't like a white privilege. Well, if you look at the whole thumbnail, you actually see what it is we're talking about. We're talking about we're talking about dropping things. We are talking about all manners of what can be perceived as privilege. If you look underneath the white, what do you see? You say black, brown, Asian, Arab, etc. But it seems as though there's a lot of pushback when people hear the term white privilege. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna play the audio of one particular guy, this particular video here. Now, just take a listen to what this particular guy is saying pertaining to white privilege, huh? Listen to what he has to say.
How's it going? Listen, if you're black and you were born in America, you're not African American, you're just American. If you were born in Africa and you become an American citizen, well then you're African American. That's how that works. Now, I'm Irish and I'm proud of my heritage, but I was born here in America. I'm an American. Also, there's no such thing as white privilege. If you were born in the United States of America, you're already privileged. The very day you are born here, you are born free. You have the freedom to pick what religion you want to be. You can be openly gay. You can burn the American flag and tear down monuments and not be shot down in the middle of the street like dogs with fully automatic rifles by your government. Welcome to America.
Okay, so his idea of privilege is not getting shot down by the government like dogs. Okay, so he goes on to say, there's, no such thing as white privilege. And he goes on to say,
land of the free, home of the brave. Nobody's oppressed. You're just making that bullshit up.
Okay, nobody's oppressed. You're just making it up. That's what he says. Now, What I'm going to do is I'm going to play. Now, that was the first video, so just keep that in mind. He made some points. One of the ones that I agreed with was the not African American, as far as especially FBA. Well, yeah, I agree with that. But then he goes on to make other statements that we're going to dig into a little bit later. Now, check this video out, because there are two videos that I'm going to play back to back. And this is one that I did a while ago. Now, this is a video that I did. It was called Believe All Women. Now, I'm going to start right here in this scene. Most of us understand this history that is about to be explained in this particular part, but I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to play something else, which is going to lead into exactly what we're going to be breaking down. Here we go. Evidence was not upheld in value by virtue of semen saccage possession. How about Tulsa, Oklahoma? If history makes you queasy and truth comes uneasy, anything to disbelieve me, be a guest and kiss my. So let's continue. A 19-year-old black grandpa by the name of Dick Rowland was accused of assaulting a 17-year-old white infant baby girl by the name of Sarah Page. See, this certainly is not evidence that all men have benefited from this notion of believing men over women. In fact, the accusations levied by that woman was enough to arouse a mob and launch a fleet of airplanes to decimate an entire city district. So, at the least, we know that historically, women have had the power to merely mention the word. They have always had access to that little device, the in case of. Okay, so now in that video we were talking about, we were talking about this idea believe all women, and then I used the example of the woman lying on this guy, and then that essentially launching the entire takedown of out there in Oklahoma, out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's what kind of started the Tulsa, Oklahoma. The riots, the burning down of what was known as Black Wall Street, right? Now, that's something that we all know about, right? I mean, that's nothing new. Well, take a look at this video.
I read a New York Times.
Now, hold on here. Now, we understand that bit of history with Tulsa, Oklahoma. Watch this. This right here is actor, Academy Award winner, Tom Hanks. Let's see what Tom Hanks has to say.
I read a New York Times piece on a 100-year-old survivor of the Tulsa Massacre. And my question was this: what's the Tulsa Massacre? How is it that it wasn't until 2 years ago that I heard about the Tulsa Massacre? How is that possible? I've heard about Custer's Little Bighorn. I heard about the Alamo. I heard about the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire. I heard about all kinds of disasters in which people died. But I had never heard about this thing that happened in 1921, only 3 years before my dad was born. In the same year that Donna Reed was born, we didn't hear about this thing that happened in which essentially one of the most successful black communities in America, Black Wall Street, in which everybody was not only burned out of their homes and their businesses, but then driven out of the city limits by an angry mob of, I'm sorry, white people. How is it that this was not taught to me? And that's not right, and it made me mad.
Oh, man.
Wow. So there you go. Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks says, how come I'm just not hearing about this? Well, Tom Hanks, I think I can help you out with that. Check this out. Now, his not knowing that. Now, does that make him indifferent to the plight of any American that doesn't share his walk of life and understanding of American history? Or does that mean that he was taught differently? See, when you make assertions like the first guy, what did he say? Oh, nobody's oppressing you. You're making that up. There's no such thing as white privilege. You know, you're privileged, you know, to be here in this country, not getting shot down like a dog in the middle of the street. Okay. So that's quite interesting when people have certain perspectives of America, and then they get out there and they make certain statements. But here is a perspective of America that a lot of us have already known about. We've already known about Black Wall Street. We've already known about Tulsa, Oklahoma for decades. I've known about that since I was a kid. But here is an American that has been an American longer than I have, considering that he's older than me. He was born before a lot of us. And he's saying, oh, he just now found out about that 2 years ago. So it goes to show that there's more than one America happening here, right? Now, think about it this way. When people get out there and they say, Americans want this, Americans want that. Well, perhaps America is more than just the scope of your own street corner or the news that you choose to watch, you know, out of whatever selection is made available to you on your social media feed, right? Now, maybe America is more than the narrative that when you make videos about, oh, you're making all that up. Well, maybe it's more than just the narrative that you choose to arbitrarily assign to a whole, right? Now, I'm going to play what he said one more time. This particular guy, all I wanted to do was show that. I just wanted to show just how oblivious Americans are to things that have happened right here in America. Tom Hanks, Academy Award winner, just now finding out about one of the greatest atrocities that happened right here on American soil, and the only time in recorded history that we can see that they use bombs on their own people. Well, you know, on American citizens, turned the military on. Anyway, now what I want to do is I want to play what this man said again with that in mind. Just take a listen.
Listen, if you're black and you were born in America, you're not African American. You're just American. If you were born in Africa and you become an American citizen, well, then you're African American. That's how
Yeah, I agree.
that works. Now, I'm Irish and I'm proud of my heritage, but I was born here in America. I'm an American.
Now, notice he said, I'm Irish. That's interesting. So what he's doing is he's that's actually, isn't Ireland, is Irish, and is that a race? I don't know. Is that a nationality? That's interesting. Here we go.
Also, there's no such thing as white privilege. If you were born in the United States of America, you're already privileged.
Right there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad that he said that, because now I get an opportunity to break it all the way down to him. Now, hold on. I'm going to let him finish it out one more time.
The very day you are born here, you are born free. You have the freedom to pick what religion you want to be. You can be openly gay.
Okay, now it seems like he's juxtaposing privilege with freedom, which is, you see, notice that switcheroo. You know, hey, you're born here, you're already privileged.
What religion you want to be. You can be openly gay. You can burn the American flag and tear down monuments and not be shot down in the middle of the street like dogs with...
Okay, so that's his argument for why there's no such thing as white privilege. Okay.
fully automatic rifles by your government. Welcome to America. Land of the free, home of the brave. Nobody's oppressed. You're just making that bullshit up.
All right. Well, allow me to break it down for you. Maybe I can make it just a little bit simpler, because for a lot of people, they get a little they get their panties in a bind. Okay, check this out. Let me see how to start this off. I'll say this. Notice Tom Hanks in his response to that bit of history that happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Do you know what he said? He said he didn't know. He did not know. Now think about this. It seems like there's only when there is when people make these sorts of statements saying, you're just making that up. This idea of oppression, you're making that up. Now, I will say this. Not everything is oppression, but there are instances that people that have this standpoint is only when the contrary to what they are saying, only when the contrary is caught on video camera. After that, then there's kind of a reluctant willingness to, for them to make it a national discussion. Why? Because then that creates an inconvenience to the ones who said that it doesn't exist. Why? Because now it places them underneath the microscope of scrutiny. See? Because to speak out, because now if you then start speaking out against it, after you say it that it didn't exist, well, then that makes nobody be able to believe what it is that you're even saying. That turns you into a person who seems like they have no idea what they're talking about. I thought you said that this didn't exist. Oh, now you say it exists. Now you want to start speaking out against it. Well, make your mind up, Sparky. Does it exist or does it not exist? Well, you see, really, what we have to do is we need to wait until all of the facts come out. You see, because we don't know, because really, to tell you the truth, it almost look like, now, look. So we know about the sort of splaining away things that are on video, right? So people make these statements that, well, this don't exist. Well, I'll put it this way. If you were to sit by silently, it would make it seem like you're giving tacit approval to it, to whatever injustice that people are talking about, that they, some people label oppression. So then if you speak out against it, it makes you look like you don't know what you're talking about. Because you already said it doesn't exist. But you have to say, but you can't sit by silently, because then it'll look like you approve of it. So what's the best thing to do? They say, I didn't know. Huh? And the majority of people, they are in the I didn't know group. Because, now no one could ask you, well, why didn't you do anything about it? Or no one can blame you for sitting by idly while you observed it going on, so that now you look like you approve of it. Well, no. You say, I didn't know. And that is a luxury that is afforded to someone like Tom Hanks. He doesn't know. Now, here's the thing. There's some people that say I didn't know because they're lying. But in Tom Hanks, I don't think that that's a lie. I think he's actually telling the truth. This is history that he just did not know, that the rest of us do. Now, is there such thing as black privilege? Let me say this. There is a such thing as black privilege. There is. See, but let me put it this way. Black privilege usually takes on the form of not sticking out like a sore thumb, when you're in majority black surroundings, right? Or when people are looking for a Vic, or or not getting kidnapped. How about that? I'm looking at that movie Hostel, and they prefer, white blonde American women, right? So if Keisha's out there, there's a certain black privilege to her not getting kidnapped because they don't want her. They're looking for, Becky with the blonde hair. So sure, there are little pieces of things that we could look at as privilege for black people, right? But let me put it this way. When it comes to white privilege, that when white people hear that, it really disappoints them. A lot of white people, when they hear white privilege, man, they get, God, dog, it really pisses them off. When they hear that, like many of them are automatically harking back to how hard they've had it, and they often, they often talk about how hard they've had it almost like that, like they want to take it. Do you understand how hard I had it? Ain't nobody ever gave me nothing. Everything I got from hard work. And that may be the truth. But guess what? That has nothing to do with white privilege. In fact, white privilege has nothing to do with white people as a community. That's where they get it wrong. See, it has to do with, in most cases, but not all, those who classify as white that have achieved positions of influence and power that choose to extend such benefits, services, and benefit of the doubt to those who identify as or appear to be white. It really has nothing to do with you as a white person on the receiving end. And I would even go so far as to say that many white people, they don't even know when they're on the receiving end of so-called privilege, unless there was a non-white person right there that you can compare experiences to, which is rare. I mean, the less diverse your social surroundings are, the less you'll be able to do that experiment. Now, furthermore, I would submit that white privilege is not always extended by ethnically white people. It's not, white privilege is not always afforded to you because the person's white. In fact, there are Asians. Oh yeah. There are a lot of Asians that have ill feelings toward black people. And these exact same Asians will extend certain courtesies toward white people by virtue of them just not being black. Now, as long as you've never seen this, occur right in front of your eyes, as long as you've never witnessed this for yourself, then you can exercise the luxury of preaching behind the pulpit of oblivion. And if you have witnessed this, then you exercise the option of defining it as something else. Oh, well, no, that's not that. That wasn't prejudice. That was just them. It was a preference. What it was is they have the right. See, they can refuse service and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you're just defining it as something else. Now, so to tell you the truth, it's not really about convincing certain white people that there are certain things that people afford to them or extend to them, which has nothing to do with them. It has to do with the person that's extending it to you, the way that they're thinking. But it's not on you to even try to convince them. It ain't. Like, really, think about it this way. If you are in, I don't know, Midwest somewhere, wherever you are, right? Well, then you can have the luxury of sitting back, not knowing that there are people that are down there in Mississippi, right? Mississippi, and I've seen this for a fact, that they will talk to you on the phone, and you tick all of the boxes. They tell you come in for the interview. The moment that you show up and they see that you are black, dark-skinned black, they say, "Oh, well, we're not hiring right now." You just said come in for the interview. As soon as you saw it, man, turn them around. But it's not convincing you that exists in Mississippi. Now, it's not about convincing you that you might have a 12-year-old kid that's a lot safer playing with a toy gun, if they weren't a black kid out there in Ohio, like we saw with, Tamir Rice. But it's not about convincing you that your kid probably wouldn't have got shot. It's not about convincing you of that. Now, let's put it this way. Are there instances where there are people that find it convenient to call everything discrimination and oppression? Yeah, there are some people that, there was this one lady, the lady who, she lost her endorsement deals. She's taking a picture showing all of her butt cheeks hanging out. And the company decided to, drop the endorsement with her because they felt that was inappropriate. It didn't align with their brand. So what did she do? She took to social media talking about, oh, the black woman, this is just another way of them trying to see over-sexualized black women. I was just enjoying. I'm like, oh, now here she done turned in a civil rights Cecilia. And all of you should have seen how many black women were like, bye, Felicia. You see what I'm saying? So we know that there are people that try to use or try to turn any bit of their ratchery into some sort of civil rights, issue, and most of us don't fall for that. Matter of fact, a lot of us call it out, right? So we know that those things do exist, people that use these excuses or whatever, or they try to use the seriousness of injustice to shroud their lackluster life performance or something. Right? But the problem is, then those people, those small examples, they become the scapegoat for other people's proclivity to just not really care about the things that are happening to you in the first place. See, here's the thing. There is a difference between white privilege and being white and privileged. Okay? So understand that. There's a difference between white privilege and being white and privilege. See, most hear the latter when the former is what's being stated. See, the truth is, look, white privilege is something that you have to run into, right? Sometimes you don't even know that is being extended to you, right? Not until maybe someone does a social experiment to see the way that a particular police department responds to a legal gun carrier. When that gun carrier is white versus black, which is an actual experiment that they did do. And they showed that they took it a lot more seriously when there was a black guy carrying a gun. Now look, this exists whether you found yourself on the receiving end of it or not. Either you could take someone's word for it, which relegates that experience to being anecdotal or hearsay, or you can wait until someone is lucky enough to catch it on tape. Where then, the evidence, the irrefutable evidence, the evidence that you would think is irrefutable. Oh, no. No. It ain't irrefutable. No, we got to wait till all of the stuff comes out. Okay. So even when it's caught on tape, people still have a way of just living in their living room of oblivion. And while they're living in this oblivion, then they make videos making definitive statements, pertaining to the whole. This is how it is. And they're basing it off of the boundaries and the limitations, the observations made within the limitations of their own circumference. Because they didn't see it, they'll say it does not exist in America. Right? And if you think that you're in a situation where you're being oppressed, well, guess what? Oh, you're too stupid to know whether or not you're being oppressed. So as long as I think that you're stupid, I'm justified in ignoring everything that you experience as being oppressive. See what I'm saying? See how there's a lot of arrogance. Here we have Tom Hanks, as profound and as well known as he is, and well traveled in all of these different things. You would think that he would at least know about the Tulsa riots, about the burning down Tulsa, Oklahoma, of Black Wall Street. You would think that he would know that. Man just said he learned about it 2 years ago, old as he is. Goes to show. There's always there's more than one America. I'll put it that way. That where you are and what your surroundings are, it shapes your scope. There's histories that people, this guy, he's a boomer, right? That he doesn't even know about. That black people knew about. Now, I mean, we have instances like in recent times. What, Vidor, Texas? Vidor, Texas. Vidor, Texas. Now this is a sundown town. Sundown town. Today, you know, sundown town is where black people are advised not to be caught after the sun goes down. Now, this is a privilege that you never asked for if you're white. You could pull up to Vidor, Texas for an after hours beer, you know, and live in the luxury of sheer oblivion, as opposed to anyone who's not white. But if you don't care about Vidor, Texas, you have the luxury of being oblivious. Just like Tom Hanks or Forrest Gump. See, even in the face of evidence, like Vidor, Texas, you still say that, oh, this type of stuff doesn't exist. Now, I'll put it this way. There's a lot of black people that, you know, FBA, right? The lineage that is in America that goes back before the Civil War. You'll find that a lot of black Americans, they move in spite of the Vidor, Texases out there. They move in spite of them. But just because we move in spite of them and we took the long way around, it doesn't change the fact that the problem still exists for someone who doesn't have the privilege or the gas tank to avoid the circumstances within their circumference, particularly after the sun goes down. See, the problem is when we look at America as though America is this one way, this one view. This is how it is. This is blah, blah, blah. Look, you got to get out of your circumference. There is a such thing as privilege. There's all sorts of privileges. You know, yes, there's woman privilege. You know, there's, you know, women, you know, getting free at different places, you know, stuff like that. You know, there's Asian privilege. Matter of fact, this particular there was a black guy who he and his wife started a hair company. The Asians told him no, that he couldn't put his products in that store because they only buy from other Asians. That's what they let him know. They only buy from their people. Well, that's Asian privilege. Privilege is based off of what someone has accomplished, and then they choose to open the door for whomever, or leave the door open for whomever they want to leave the door open for. But it's like people in a position that choose to gatekeep of their own volition. See? The problem is we start looking like America is all one thing. And no, look, America is entirely too big for one person to run, like a presidency. That's why there's governors. But 50 states are entirely too big for 50 people to run. Hence the mayors. That's why there's mayors. And cities are entirely too big for mayors to run alone. Hence communities. And communities consist of families, and families consist of individuals, all of whom have their principles and beliefs. So at the end of the discussion, this is a nation of individuals, some of which have formed organizations of hate, and some have formed organizations of healing. Some have formed organizations of excuses, and some have formed organizations of grinding and building it. Some have formed organizations of privilege. And some have formed organizations where they sit back and say they never knew it. Yeah, I didn't know. Organizations of oblivion. See, this is America. This is the land of the free and the home of whatever it is that you want it to be. That's what it is. The flip side is, if you get out and you actually experience it, then you'll see whatever it is for other people as well. This is America. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as this is a brief discussion, very brief discussion. I'm gonna pull up this chat because I don't see anybody of y'all yet. Okay, there y'all go. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Who is this? Let me read some of y'all. Tootie, yeah, what you say? Peace. Let's see. Well, yeah. Who is this man talking about? Yeah. Well, apparently he's talking about Americans. Yeah, and I think he's upset with Black Americans. Let's see. BG, white supremacy is so normalized in society. Yep. Exactly. I believe that's true. You know, a lot of times if you're not affected with it directly, you'll say it doesn't exist. Matter of fact, they did a poll, and I don't want to, don't get me quoting the numbers, specific numbers, but I do know that there was a poll, I think it was in the 50s. It was in the 50s. I know that it was like the height of the civil rights movement that they asked, they did a poll, and the majority of white people said that they felt like Black people had the exact same opportunities that a white person did. So it went to show that there were two different Americas going on, even at that time. You know. Okay, so I hope that cleared it up. I hope that this cleared this idea of white privilege, in that white privilege does not mean that white people are privileged because they are white. It means that there are white people that have amassed positions of influence that disproportionately afford these opportunities to white people. And there are those of other ethnicities that have become sort of whitewashed, as we saw in that commercial where the Asian woman put the black dude in a washing machine and pulled him out as an Asian. So we know that there's kind of a looking at black as kind of anyone black as persona non grata. So we do know that. And we do know that there is this tendency in this worship of westernized culture that a lot of them really, really, really want to mimic white society abroad. So we understand that. You know, I can pull up video after video after video. We know that. But you as a white person, it doesn't mean that, oh, there's something wrong with you because you're white and this person over here only lets white people in, or there's something wrong with you because you went in there. No, a lot of times white folks don't even know that is being extended to them unless there is a black person right there for them to compare experiences with. That's it. Okay, guys, I hope that this was a productive conversation. I am working on this funny video right now. I'm putting this together. It's a history video. Yeah, so we're gonna be matter of fact, I'm not even gonna tell you what it's about. I just want y'all to tune in and check it out and support, because this is a new series that I'm working on. Where we do some historical straightening in story format. Okay, guys, appreciate y'all. Tune in. Let's see. Hopefully I'm done with this thing on Tuesday. Because it will be Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturday, Sunday, maybe. I'm thinking. I'm trying to work that one out because football season and all this. Now, so look, there's all sorts of different topics that I really want to tackle. I really want to touch on. Matter of fact, hey, let me ask y'all, what's up with this? What's up with this Little Mermaid thing? So I hear about this. I heard all this stuff about Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid is black, and people were kind of up in arms. But then I saw this video where there's these black girls all surprised. Oh, she's black! Ah! And all of them so happy. Well, be sure to check out. I did a video on Captain America. Me discussing Captain America. So go into my. Be sure to check that video out, where essentially I was speaking about Captain America. All of a sudden, he used to be white, now he's black. Anthony Mackie. So just about racial role reprisals and just that subject. just, check that out. Okay, guys. Tune in Tuesday. I should be done with it because I'm gonna get right on it, working on it right now, as a matter of fact. So, because I know that a lot of people, they like, some of my video productions. So that's what I'm working on right now. So tune in. Okay, guys. Keep it logical. And remember, never let anyone. What? I said, never let anyone control your narrative. Peace.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this,